5, 6, 7, 8.
Hi, and welcome to BroadwayWorld.com's coverage of the 61st Annual Tony Awards, Broadway's biggest night. I'm Robert Diamond, editor-in-chief of BroadwayWorld.com.
And I'm Rick McKay, the director and producer of the film Broadway, The Golden Age. Now, I spend most of my life, Rob, documenting the history of Broadway, but it's very exciting tonight because we're here live from the Tony Awards at Rockefeller Center, Radio City Music Hall. And these stars, when they win that award, they come off stage, and it's seconds after they win that they're sitting right down between us.
Congratulations, John.
Thank you very much.
You must feel like $1 million.
I feel like something. Don't know what it is. Maybe a glass of champagne. No,
you haven't had that yet?
Not yet. But I'm in no.
Glass of champagne.
Yes, please.
We'll
I'm in no hurry because as it is, I'm feeling quite numb, and I feel like it might go straight to my head and I'll fall over. I still have to perform later, so I have to keep it, Keep
now,
clean.
where are you performing tonight?
We're performing at the Tony Awards.
Yes. The Tony Awards?
Yes, yeah, we are.
Oh,
We're
no.
performing. So.
Cut the champagne.
Yeah, forget the champagne.
Right after,
Later.
we'll have it.
Waiting in the wings, if you will. No, I'm just kidding.
So what has the whole experience been like, from off-Broadway to Broadway and now this? I mean,
It's been a
doesn't get much
complete
better.
whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind that has moved at the pace of a whirlwind and also very slow sometimes. It's been fast, it's been slow, it's been happy, it's been sad, it's been intense, it's been quiet. It's just been everything. It's been the most surreal and strange past 2 years of my life being involved in Spring Awakening. And I remember when we were doing the workshop for Lincoln Center 2 years ago, Steven Sater used to call me. And this is when I could barely get through any of the songs because I couldn't hit the high notes. He used to call me O.B. Gallagher because his big dream was that we were going to make it to off-Broadway someday and that I would maybe win an Obie because he thought that I deserved one. And certainly we never thought that we would make it to Broadway. So I guess he's going to have to start calling me Tony now.
that'll be a
Tony
good new
Gallagher.
nickname.
Yeah.
What does it feel like? It's such a difference for you from coming from Rabbit Hole.
Oh,
2 years
absolutely.
ago, where you had a New York intelligentsia, older, sophisticated audience every night.
Yeah.
And now you're doing something for people that are your age.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing to look out into the crowd and see. But the best part about it is that we get that crowd too. Like we get the people that came to see Rabbit Hole, and that's
Exactly.
a gift because you don't always get that in New York theater audiences. You don't get to look out there and see like all these ages and all these walks of life, but they're all out there and they're all loving it, which is the most amazing part.
Now, can people your age afford to come see Spring Awakening?
The best thing about Spring Awakening is that we have these on-stage seats, and they're only $35. Problem is, because of their amazing price, they go really fast, so they're sold out through, I think, till August right now or something. But that's the best way for young people to see it, and also the student rush is quite affordable, and those kids are dedicated. I mean, when we in the winter even, when we were even more of a kind of smaller word of mouth, we were still growing, and our houses were much smaller then. We would still have these kids that would wait in the snow with the line down the block to get rush tickets and to see Spring Awakening.
Wow, it must make you feel really good.
It's incredible.
Now, also, everything has changed for you now. We knew the show was a success. It's gotten rave reviews. Everybody loves it. But as you're seeing this sweep that's starting tonight, doesn't it also make you think you don't have to worry about work for a little bit longer? It has to cross your mind, right?
Sure. It's nice to be employed. It's nice to be employed if you love the job, and I certainly love Spring Awakening. I love doing it. I love the people that I get to do it with, and they're winning stuff tonight, which is amazing. I'm sad I can't see them, though. But hey, I'm happy to be here.
That's why we have
talking
DVRs.
to you guys, so.
You'll go home
exactly.
tonight,
I know. I just got a DVR this weekend, so I can go home and watch
Because of this, or is it just coincidental?
No, just coincidentally.
Well, now, what are you going to do? Like, in a few weeks, you've got a gig with Old Spring Pike.
I do. I play with my band in July, and that's going to be fun. We're playing Joe's Pub, and we've never played there before.
And now you'll be a Tony-winning actor who's playing in a rock and roll
Playing in a
band.
rock and roll band.
Mary Louise, I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What does it feel like to sit in that audience tonight, watch Angela come out to start the show, and think that you understudied her over 30 years ago?
Yeah, and look at her. Oh, God, she looked fantastic.
As do you.
Thank you.
You look like a kid. From Full Gallop,
I am a kid.
your own show, Full Gallop, with Mark Hampton, to tonight winning this Tony Award.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel wonderful.
Oh,
I'd
I'm
be
so
crazy
excited for
not
you.
to feel wonderful.
And this was the underdog. You really fought the good fight with
yeah,
the show.
yeah,
and it's
yeah, we
paying
did.
off.
Yeah, really nice, really nice.
Ron?
What was it like taking the show from off-Broadway to Broadway? And
It was pretty smooth. I mean, we made changes essentially to make the story clearer to the audience. And other than that, it was pretty much, it just felt perfectly natural to be in that bigger space.
Not nominated tonight, but a very big star. We're here with Tina Madigan.
Hi, everybody.
So tell all your BroadwayWorld fans what you're up to tonight.
Oh, well, tonight I'm nominated for Best Dressed and Most Likely to Succeed. 100% attendance in a musical, and also I provide great lunches for those casting directors out there that I go on auditions for. Hi, everybody. Hi, Bernie Telsey.
You're also doing a little something with Sprint tonight. At least you were until this interview.
I'm actually working tonight. I'm down the hallway. Rob's in this room. I'm in another room. We're in the Sprint Lounge. We're getting to interview the winners as they come off the stage. It's really, really exciting to actually be on stage and perform with Mamma Mia one year in the Tonys and now be interviewing some of the winners. I almost stole a few Tonys tonight because those things look so beautiful. Oh, my goodness. Rob, will it ever happen for me? Will it ever happen? Can you tell me, Rob, look into your crystal ball and tell me, is Tony in my future?
Well, it turns out the crystal ball is in my other bag.
Oh, it is?
How great are you guys feeling tonight with it?
Well, it's pretty amazing. We've won 4 Tonys.
It's unreal. Between
three,
the two
but
of us.
3 shared between 2,
And
I
the
guess.
show has 6 or
7.
7. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, it seems like such a close company and such a tight-knit group. I mean,
We
the
are.
reaction shots are never seen people
They're
so
showing
happy
reaction
for
for
each other.
it's
Well,
amazing.
it's just because it's our first time doing this, and so it's so powerful. We've never had this experience before, and didn't think we'd ever have this experience, and it's this it is this really amazing group of people who have just worked so hard to make this thing happen.
And now you've got the cherry on top of the.
We do.
Oh, we certainly do. And I think for a show that has had the kind of struggle we've had, and then has had the kind of reception we've had, and it's still just been, people have just been finding out about the show. What this does for our show, it just lets people know about us in such a profound way. So these awards really make a great difference for us.
Yeah, it feels like the show is just every week just seems more and more people are adopting it. And,
It's
must feel
amazing.
great for you guys.
It's building, and people are finding it, and I think there were people who didn't necessarily go to a lot of musical theater who are finding our show, and they're rediscovering musical theater, not just our show, but lots of other shows
Right.
that are happening on Broadway, and that feels great.
And you guys have more musical theater coming from you.
We do.
We do.
Next.
We do.
Actually, we have Nero, which
Okay.
is about the Emperor Nero. We're doing a workshop this summer at the Public Theater.
Okay.
And then we have The Nightingale in the Fall. So we have 2 pieces we've been working on for
Number of years.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah. Long
Amazing.
gestations, all
Yeah.
of them, but that's what they need.
Well, and also when you want to do something that breaks the rules, it's this groundbreaking that's according to your own heart and your own desires. It takes a while, and it also takes a while for people to get behind you.
So I feel right now people are asking me, what does this mean? I feel like there's really a feeling on Broadway. They really want to try something new. I think they're in the right town for it. The dance world in New York has so many bright people, great, wild personages, skilled, good storytellers. It's a marriage made in heaven. I hope this is one of the beginnings. It's not the first time. I hope it's one of the beginnings that this kind of marriage can happen.
Now, has it crossed your mind tonight as you sat in that seat in Radio City that you might just be, again, making history? As you see award after award? I mean, look at right now. We look across there. Duncan and Steve. Duncan,
scary, isn't it?
These guys are sweeping like crazy.
Wow.
What's it?
Well, what does it feel like? It's in slow motion, and this is an industry. It's an industry, and it's an industry that makes product, and sometimes it's a fickle industry. So we always have to be humble, even as it's happening. Try to take the long view, but be human inside it. Now, how's that for a diplomatic answer?
That's
Very
diplomatic.
We almost believed it.
Now, the history part, I don't know what that means. There's a lot of history on the stage and so on. We'll see what it means. What does it mean to, quote, make something new? I mean, is the new really possible in a world where everything has been proposed or maybe tried and discarded?
I think with this show, though, that you've shown that the new can be done. Gosh. You can move it further out there.
Let's talk in another 5 years, Let's see what happens. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. It bodes well for the environment right now.
Are we going to get to see more of your work on the Broadway stage?
Yeah, I'm working on a show right now. I'm so in the dumps about it because it's a show about an African rebel. His name is Fela Kuti. And the people in your audience who know world music know this was, talk about a rock star that was a threat to the status quo. This guy was jailed for his music. 100 times even. Beat up his, this was the real deal about rock and roll revolutionary. His name was Fela Kuti from one of the most corrupt regimes in the world, Nigeria. It's a story that's really worth telling, and he has great music. So I hope I can do him justice. It's enough rope to hang myself with, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Is he still with us?
No, he's not. That makes the story even more dramatic. But I won't tell you more.
But you have a composer and a lyricist to work with who can't do rewrites or can make complaints, right?
He has quite a family.
He has quite a family.
And a lot of lawyers.
And a lot of lawyers.
And they're watching everything. And he is much loved. So
yeah,
everybody.
They're also watching you win a Tony Award tonight.
I hope they respect
it. Win a Tony. I know they will.
Yeah, so that'll be coming into meetings with you.
That's right.
And I want to tell you the reason I'm doing this orgy scene is because.
Because he would have wanted it.
I think he would have liked it. I think he would have liked me, maybe. He was a scary guy. I think he might have liked me, I mean, it might be a little too artsy-fartsy for him, but I think he might like it.
So there's no temptation to play it safe. You're going for your next Broadway project even farther out at all, which is very exciting.
Oh, yeah, I don't know any other way to do it.
Thank God.
I don't know any other way to do it. But producers, I'm sure producers have, this isn't done alone, purely on artistic, that people have. There's a bottom line. And that's who is my audience, finding that audience, all that.
We love all producers.
Don't we love producers? Yes. Thank you, producers.
But you don't have a typical audience per se. Do you ever sit in a theater like during previews and look around there? Because when we go to the theater, you see nothing but gray-haired people and glasses. But you go to your theater, there's a little bit of everything.
Well, we felt that at the Atlantic last summer when suddenly somebody came and you said, "Oh, I've been there 9 times." 9 times. Or the girls that showed up and they had the lyrics written on their jeans, and now they're singing along with the show. That's kind of remarkable to see.
I got it, Mama. I can do it. I can do it, Mama. I got it. You're a pretty girl. Little lamb, little lamb.
As you can tell, the Sprint Lounge has alcohol in it.
His opera does not. Through my hand. I'm just I don't know, excited to be here tonight. There's a little bit of Broadway in all of us, and it never leaves me. What can you say? There's a little bit of Broadway world in all of us.
This interview is either going to get you back on stage or committed. But either way, we're happy to have it on tape.
Okay, do you guys think it's stage or committed? No, I'm a very devout BroadwayWorld fan. I stay true. But it's really fun to get to. I mean, look at you. We're interviewing people.
Yeah,
we're in our best dressed, and we're having a big old fun tonight.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much. I can't tell you how proud I am and relieved.
Well, you broke, once again, all the barriers and all the odds. I mean, you're making musicals, winning Tony Awards, making straight plays in an era when they say no one's doing straight plays anymore.
I know. But this was a particularly rich year for theater, for Broadway theater, to welcome some really great plays. I mean, we had wonderful performances, and sometimes you have to scratch around for a couple of good plays, but we really had a surfeit of good drama this year. That was thrilling to be part of that.
And even more exciting to win with all that competition.
Yeah, okay. I know that
there's not even enough plays to nominate.
I know, and I had 3 of them. I had 3 of them. I did 3 of them. But I said, it wasn't. I'm sure it looks like overkill, but it was Tom's idea. It wasn't mine.
Oh, listen, it's wonderful, Kill. Now you have done so many transfers from film to the Broadway stage, and you've had to have this vision to make them fresh and make them work on Broadway, and you're doing another one, I know.
I am, Catch Me If You Can. Yeah.
Exactly. What did it feel like to be back, and this doesn't happen much today, with a brand new original play written for a theater and written for you to direct?
I know. Well, it's extraordinary. I'm a very lucky guy because we tend in this country to make people do what they do over and over again because it's familiar, because you did that so well, why don't you do that again? And I think because I had the Globe, all those years at the old Globe behind me, and had the opportunity to do so many different kinds of things, I've been able to sort of pop in and out of different genre. And as I'm fond of saying, a rabbit never comes out of the same hole twice, or they shoot you. So you've got to find another hole to come out of, and that's basically what I've been doing.
Well, Catch Me If You Can's definitely a brand new hole.
Definitely a brand new hole, and what a great property. And you know, the Hairspray kids, we've had such a great run together, and we love each other so much. And you know, it's also been great to watch Jerry Mitchell develop on his own, to do his own directing now. Mm-hmm. But we never lose sight of each other, and the idea of coming back and doing another really great piece together is so thrilling for us. And then Hairspray's going to London this fall, so we're all on the bus at the same time again, which is great. It's good for us. Yeah.
How do you think this all these awards for Coastal Utopia and all the great success bodes for the future of the straight play on Broadway?
Well, I'll tell you the most amazing thing to me is that company. 44 actors, many of them the highest profile actors we have. They work all the time. They gave up a year of their lives and their livelihood, and they came to do a project they couldn't possibly believe would have ended up with this. Because this younger generation of actors in film and television are absolutely determined not to give up the stage. They know it's their lifeblood. They know it's the foundation for their imagination. They know it's like a gymnasium for them. It keeps them taut. It keeps them on their edge. And there's now a generation of men and women who want to act on the stage all the time. And God darn it, we're going to give it to them. That's all there is to it.
Don't you think it gives them kind of a legitimacy in their crowd in Hollywood, too? I mean, when Billy Crudup does a movie, nobody on that set can do what he can do.
No, nobody can. And to see that Jennifer Ely wins a Tony for playing 3 different women, completely different women, which is something actors in America don't get a chance to do. And if you saw this monumental thing on a marathon day, you saw her play 3 women in one day. I mean, we're going to have great actors. I've always been nationalistic, as you know, about our talent and our ability to really deliver. And this was an important one because it was a success to steam in London. It was nicely received, but it didn't get the resonance it deserved. And to be able to really put all our effort and energy behind it and knock it out of the park is one of the great privileges of my life.
What else are you up to these days?
I just finished doing a show for Nickelodeon, and I'm up for a show on the Oxygen Network. It's called She'larious.
Big TV star?
No, I'm right now. I'm just really enjoying. Wedding Singer closed December 31st, and that was a bit of a whirlwind, being on and off and on and off. And right now, I'm just sort of enjoying getting to do some of these press junkets. I just interviewed Matt Damon and Robert De Niro, so I'm getting to do a lot of really.
Are they doing something on stage? Or?
No, but I'd like to do a lot of things on stage with those guys. No, so this is, it's a great opportunity for me to be able to use some of my improv skills, which is what I, really would love to be doing. So while I'm waiting, I guess, for the next role to come around, is anybody doing My Fair Lady? I'm a great Eliza Doolittle. That's all I had to say. No.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You must feel like $1 million. This is your second time here in the park.
Do I know?
Did you ever dream that this would happen tonight?
No, I didn't.
Now, what happens when you come back the second time as a nominee? Is it different for you?
Yes, it was different. Well, it was different in lots of ways this time, I think. I knew what it meant more. Last time I had sort of stumbled upon great good fortune. This time I had witnessed how much it means to other people, and how much, and how it does become, I mean, it's said, Tony winner, it becomes a part of your name.
You become a hyphenate.
You do. And so I had much more understanding of how much it meant. And also for this project, this project meant so much to me and to all of us that just wanting one of us, Martha or me, to bring it home for the team was so important to both of us. And so it's great to have been able to help out.
Now, when you go to the party tonight, after this, when you're at the party and you see Martha, what will you say to her? Do you mind me asking?
I don't know. I don't know.
But it's exciting. You're sharing it with her.
Absolutely. No, I think it would be private. I mean, we're very good friends. She came up. She and Jason Butler Harner and Annie Purcell and Bianca Amato all came up for Memorial Day, and she does great fried chicken. And she's a wonderful woman, and I'm so proud to have worked with her and to have shared this category with her.
Well, before we let you go, because I think you're wanted, can I just ask you, your mom, I think, is babysitting tonight,
She
right?
is.
And when she did her interview with me for Broadway, The Golden Age, she insisted, it was in her dressing room, that I frame it so that your photograph was right next to her and it would be in the shot. She said, this way, she'll be in with me. You called your mom on the cell already?
No,
You haven't even got to talk
and
to
I don't know
her?
if she's watching it, because if our son
baby's
is
asleep.
awake, then she won't have the TV on, and presumably somebody's called her by now. But, because I wrote to Martha, I emailed her earlier today when I was having a pedicure, and said, oh, by the way, I got to tell you, the last time when I went and I won, is you go backstage and you do all this press stuff, and you were going to wish you had your bag, so take your bag up with you. And I really thought it was going to be Martha, and she said, well, thanks, but won't you look silly up there with your bag? And I said, no, but... and we just kept writing back and forth, pretending that each of us was going to have this problem. But so I don't have a phone, I don't have anything to call my mother.
Oh my God, this is going to be viewed somewhere on a webcam.
It's going on YouTube and on BroadwayWorld.
Well, come on, let's show a little leg.
Wow. I don't have the...
What are you up to?
What am I up to? I don't know. I've forgotten.
I'm just
since
totally
this
like
started.
shaking his whole entire world.
I don't have note cards for this. I'm not at all prepared. Congratulations.
Thank you.
7 so far for Spring
I know.
Awakening.
I can't believe
More to
it.
come.
I'm so freaking out.
What's tonight been like so far?
Tonight has been completely surreal. My partner, Roger, who is a physician, has offered me any number of sedatives throughout the evening, and I'm really proud of myself. I said no to every time, and it's been like every 2 seconds. You want a Xanax? No. You want a Valium? No. Do you want half a Xanax? I'm like, no, you know what? I really want to just try to be here.
Yeah.
And so I did. And I'm so glad, because as anxious as I am and as Filippi, it's pretty cool to be able to really remember. They actually said my name this time.
Yeah.
And
the other times you just thought they had said it.
Well, the other times, no. There was one time once that sort of the papers all said that I was probably going to win, and I didn't. So that was disappointing. Ever since then, I sort of haven't really cared about it so much, honestly. I always want my show to do well, but I don't really think so much about the award for myself. This time, however, I must confess that I just thought this would be a good one. If I'm going to win a Tony for directing a musical, I'd be very happy if it were for this. So
The honesty is refreshing.
yeah, well, you know what I mean. So this would.
7 so far tonight.
And Bill T. Jones.
Bill T.
He was a
Jones.
hero of mine when I was in college.
Did you bring him on board?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you for doing that.
Tom Hull, he's an astonishing artist. He's an iconoclast. He's completely fresh and vital and aggressive and in your face, and also so kind and loving. I mean, he's a fantastic conglomeration of stuff. But he's been making really, really important work now for decades. And the thought that when Tom Hulse first suggested him, he said, what about Bill T. Jones? And I went, as if he would do a Broadway show,
Right.
Or actually off-Broadway at that point, because that's what it was, as if he would do musical theater. It just never occurred to me he would. So I said, sure, we could talk to him. He'll never do it. We talked to him, and he said he'd love to do it. So what do I know?
Bill T. Jones, and now you've lit his fire. He was just in this chair a few minutes ago, and he's got a whole new show now he's doing.
I know, isn't that exciting?
Which he'll probably be bringing you on board.
Well, I don't know about that, but
among
I'm
everyone
happy to.
else that
I'll
wants
be
you.
very happy to help him do anything he wants to do, because I think he's a genius.
Well, how do you think this bodes for the future? I mean, when Rent happened, everyone thought that young, youth-oriented musicals were going to be the next thing, and then we had to wait, a decade.
Right. What I think is possible is that because we broke so many rules, I think that successfully and succeeded in doing it, I think it will give other producers and other theaters courage to try stuff that maybe they don't get on the page. Look, we spent 8 years developing Spring Awakening, and the last couple of years before the production, we sent the script and the CD out to so many theaters and so many producers, and everyone said, I don't get it. I don't understand. It's the play is 19th century, but the songs sound modern. Huh? What is it? And luckily, we had some really courageous producers in the Atlantic Theater Company, and Tom Hulse and Ira Pittleman, and it gave us an opportunity to actually show it. and the fact that it works so well, I hope will give other people the confidence to like take a leap of faith on something that may not work on the page, because theater is live, and musical theater is more alive because there's so many other elements to it. So
I'm sure there's a lot of folks kicking themselves that turn the show down. That are
you know what I hope that I don't whatever with that. We all have regrets, right? But I really hope that the next time something comes across their desk that looks intriguing, but maybe they're a little afraid. Maybe they'll think of Spring Awakening and they'll go, let's just go for it. What the hell? Let's try it.
What's your next project?
I've got a show opening on Thursday.
That's true.
Back at the Atlantic, another musical called 10 Million Miles, with a book by Keith Bunin, lovely young writer, and Patty Griffin, who is a fantastic singer-songwriter.
Yeah, I heard this
His songs are great, and it's a great cast. It's Matt Morrison and Irene Malloy and Mayor Winningham and Skip Sudduth and Tim Weil, who is the MD on Rent, is our music director, and it's a great design team, and I really love it. And we open Thursday, so it's big, but...
Now, does this make things as hard as it is in the legitimate theater world, does this make it a little bit easier? A night like this for everything.
Well, this night is, this is pretty great. This is once in a lifetime, dream come true time. It really.
Congratulations!
Can you believe this?
You've got wood.
Yeah, in more ways than one. Yeah, exactly tonight. Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful trophy. I've never held a Tony before. I've never put one in my hand before, and I get it from Eddie Izzard. Probably I'm his biggest fan.
Wow.
And when he came out, I had no idea he was giving our award, and that's just a thrill to actually see my idol and get this at the same time. I think I'm ready to go now. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Now, what does this mean for you? I have a feeling that your national tour of the show, this kicks whole new life into it.
I hope so, because I think that we didn't find a way to explain to people what the show was, and thank goodness for the theater wing and the League of American Theaters and Producers who saw what we were trying to do in the show, and maybe now with this legitimacy, they will think that we're not just the next kiddie birthday party, that we could do something theatrical.
So you'll be bringing this around with you?
Yeah, I plan to.
You'll never put it down.
Right.
No, not for a long time.
I loved watching the journey. I got emails from Lucy Arnaz, all kinds of people saying, I'm sure you heard.
I know she was very nice to us to do all that, yeah.
But people in the industry and out of the industry, they would see the show and they would write long personal emails to thousands of people saying, this is not what you think. I had an experience last night at the theater. I saw, you must go. And
it's an amazing journey, yeah.
It really is.
I'm so glad that people connected in that way, because that was... that's what you hope, but you never know. I mean, An artist just puts his art out there and hopes that somebody will see it in their own way, and we're just excited about how people related to it.
But does it feel different when you don't only put your art out there, but you put your whole life out there? You put your heart, your soul, and you revealed a lot of things about yourself, and so when you're judged, it's...
But every actor faces that. Every actor faces the fact that if you don't get the part, it's not that you're just not right for the part, which is 90% of the time. They're telling you that they don't want you. And unlike a product that if a salesman sells, you can say, well, they don't like my product, but I can go home fine. But in an actor, your product and your personality have been rejected. It's tougher.
But when this is your personal life, your own personal story, and then it ends on a night like this.
Then
you can take that credit.
I will ride this away for as long as I can, because it's just so much fun, so much. I guess that of all the major awards that I can think of, be it an Emmy or an Academy Award, a Tony represents the people that are out there every night doing it. You can get an Oscar for 2 minutes on a film that maybe occupied a day. But this means that you're out there 8 times a week doing it and doing it and doing it. And I just think that this is the performer's award.
Well, that Oscar was also for the editor who helped build that performance long after you'd done it with the multiple takes.
That's right. You don't have
you alone out there.
You just have to walk out kind of naked every night, and there's something about that I will always love, and I hope that we get to do the show many, many, many more times and many more places.
Well, I can't wait to call your producer, Jamie DeRoy.
Jamie was the best. She's the best. And
she believes in you. And
she was so sweet and said, this is going to be your night. And, all my producers were just so great to believe in a show that was hard to explain and hard to communicate, and then which had no... as long as I'm doing it, there can't be a third and fourth company. It's
Right.
just me. So they believed, and it was
Until they clone you.
yeah. And I'm sure they're working on that.
Right.
But
The movie.
the movie, there you go. We can
That's
play
right.
that. We can play that. I'll be there for that.
The one and only on celluloid.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why not? And that way you can dub in the voice, and I won't have to work so hard.
That's why there's not a movie. We like seeing you live.
Me too.
The
I
real
like to
thing.
be live. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Da-da-dee, da-da-da-dee.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just so happy.
As you should be.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
Now you
First
are
person to
everybody's
say that for us.
popular favorite.
Oh, God.
Everyone said, I don't know if she will, but who I really, really want to win. But this was the little show.
I know, and I really felt that. I mean, people would come up to me on the street and be like, you go, girl. We've really got our fingers crossed for you. And the one thing that I felt coming into this tonight was like, oh, they're all going to be so disappointed. And I know they're really rooting for me, the little filly that could. And I was like, it's not going to happen. So when they said the name that started with, J, I was just like, no, stuff like this doesn't happen. It's too good. It's too good. I feel like there's a lot of really happy homosexuals out there for me down in Chelsea in the Village. I love you guys, man. Wee-hee, we got
them screaming about Chelsea all the way up here.
I know. I mean, it was just such a great, I don't know, it's just sort of just a great gay comedy. And I mean, we got a lot of straight fans too, but I just felt like Judy Garland at Carnegie Hall some nights, I mean, it was just like such a love fest.
And think of all those hustlers that'll be waiting for you downstairs
They're waiting for Johnny Galecki. Yeah, not me. Oh, but just a lovely group, and just things like this don't happen, they just don't happen. And yet, they did.
They did. And you had producers like Ted Snowden and the rest of the gang that were fighting so hard for this show.
So wonderful, and that they didn't recast me with,
with a television.
whoever, like someone who's been touched by an angel or something,
I'm so, no names mentioned.
No, but whatever, whomever, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Doug wanted someone more famous, but
it's hard to get someone more famous. You've had a shift at a turn in the road. You've turned the corner.
Do you think I've got my head up over the foxhole, darling?
This is not Journey's End.
But kind of the Journey's End of my career.
Journey's beginning. Right. Now, this must make you think tonight.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Well,
what's the next dream?
Oh, my God. I couldn't even, I couldn't even think. I guess the last person I thanked is my daughter, who's 20, and so much of my dreams are so much about her. I mean, she's such a great young person and I just think if there is more kids who think and act like her, and it really makes me think that we're going to be okay. The world is going to be okay. They're not all private flashing, hard drinking dumbos out there. There's some young 20-year-old girls who are smart and want the world to be a better place. And so I guess I've been thinking in terms of what's next for Alex, what's next for me. Oh, darling, I'm going to go from the stars here at the Tony to television. I'm doing the ABC.
I'm going to sell out fast.
I'm going to do the ABC show, The Caveman, which I know sounds like The Stars to the Mud, but actually The Caveman is a really funny show. It's a very Norman Learish show that talks about, race and prejudice in America. And I'm going to be one of those cavemen's mother-in-law. Mother-in-law. And
you're very smart.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I love them. They're all cute. And the guys who write it are smart. Everybody's smart.
They don't wear many clothes?
No, they wear a lot of clothes and a lot of stick-on hair. It takes 2.5 hours for them to get their makeup on.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Frances Sternhagen told me the best advice she could give a young actress was do movies and do film so that you can afford to wait it out when you have to come back to the theater.
That's
because
right.
You'll need a name that people in the general
Herb Gardner
public
told
know.
me. Herb Gardner told me once when I was doing a series some years ago, and it was very hard to do. And he said, "Julie, you're buying your talent. so you will own it and you don't have to sell it for money anymore. And that's sort of what I did like 4 years ago. I came back to New York because I was sick of being in LA, and like you'd work maybe 10 days a year, and that would be a good year. And I was like, dude, I need to do a play. I need to come back and do a play. And I wanted my kid to finish high school here in New York, and I just like to go to work every day. I like to go to work every day. And that's what I did, and that I got this for the reward as the
Now you're happily spinning around a Tony Award.
I know, it's so fun.
And now those press people that are handling the cavemen it'll now go into all of the press material. Tony Award winner Julie White.
Oh my
For
God!
the rest of your days.
That's so great. It's like I'm getting a bit in the New York Times now.
Right.
And a picture.
Yeah, it's like Clooney said about Academy Award winner George Clooney, tragically killed in a drunken driving accident. Like that, it would always be the first laborious name. Academy Award winner. So now I can be Tony Award winning Julie White.
Have you talked to Alex?
I haven't. She's holding my purse. All right, she's back out in the audience.
She's in tears, I'm sure.
I don't know. She's probably just giddy now. She's been raised by all these people, by all these theater people. One time I left her backstage with Katie Huffman in the Cagelles when she was like less than 2 years old, so I could go do a commercial audition. So she's been raised by wolves and theater people.
Well, it didn't hurt Jennifer Ely.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
She was raised in a theater company. Her mom and dad, they had the Phoenix rep, and she grew up in Backstage. She didn't have like Cagelles, but
Yeah. Well, those Cagelles.
What does it feel like to be sweeping and setting records tonight that have never happened in the history of the New York theater?
I must say this is not me being noble, but I was really so glad about everybody else's Tony, because you know what work they've done, and I think of Catherine Zuber's costumes, and it would have felt awful if the play had won a Tony. And on the other hand, as somebody said, I think that Frank Langella said, this whole thing of being in competition with each other is artificial and forced upon us. So I don't like to think of it as being a rivalry. Nevertheless, if the play had won a Tony and these brilliant people who mounted what you see and hear had drawn a blank, I wouldn't have felt that was fair.
Yeah, and these are all teams, and it shows that with the top-notch team.
I don't know what we did. We won 6.
I believe you're at 7.
7.
Which
the most ever.
I won't say most ever because we're back here, but I'm hearing rumors that it's the most a straight play has ever won before.
Yeah.
Well, there you
which is pretty phenomenal. When you stop and think that a few years ago people were saying that the straight play on Broadway was dead.
Interesting, isn't it?
There were years that there were not even enough straight plays to really nominate them, and to win this year the way you did, and one of the most fertile years for straight plays in the last 25 years, is even doubly exciting, I think.
That's
some serious competition.
Perhaps it's significant that it was a play which was very, very substantial, and I think people responded gladly to the fact that there was a lot of it, and you had to kind of listen and chew on it. And as things got tougher for the theatre, and in London too, there's been a kind of different sort of response, which is to minimalize things, make them shorter, try and make less trouble for everybody who has to finance it. And it
Look
works
what
up
you
to
did.
a point. But finally, I think audiences also want a bit of solid dinner. They want their dinner.
They want to be challenged.
They want their dinner while they're in the theatre, not have it after.
Exactly. And you gave them breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, that is a good point.
Which I'm delighted, because we all worry in this business that perhaps the straight play will not do as well in this year of all musicals, and you came and broke all the rules, as you always do, and look what you pulled off.
Well, I'd like to be optimistic. In London, the centre of gravity is shifting to the musical also. Really, it's no longer phenomenon which one associates with Broadway.
Unfortunately, I know it's true.
But I remain fairly optimistic. A lot of people want to write plays, a lot of people want to be in plays, and people do want to see plays, I believe.
I'm actually having a lot of fun in the Sprint Lounge. We have Veuve Clicquot, and apparently you just have water.
Ah. So we'll be moving there. Let's
Yeah, come down with us. We're having a blast.
Smuggle us some.
Okay, I'm going to sneak you some champagne. Thank you.
Now, you have proven everybody in the business wrong. And you've come back and won the most. You have.
Oh, yeah, when they told me I was over the hill.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
And this is an industry where people traditionally stay in Hollywood, and then later, once they're a hit, they come here. And you did it the other way around.
I did it the other way around, yeah. So that's good.
That's very good. What does it feel like? Because this is the little show that could, really.
It
I
is.
mean, Grey Gardens was fighting all the way along, and everyone passionately believed in it, but you have gone the whole distance. It's amazing.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
You and Mary Louise, I mean, look what you pulled off.
I know, isn't it cool?
Yeah, how did it feel, say, a year ago?
Well, I always believed that this show deserved a life on Broadway. So a lot of times I ended up pushing the train up the hill, you know? But it just was just sort of a matter of getting everyone to get on board the faith train, as it were, and miracles happened, and here we are.
Now, when you were off Broadway, if I remember correctly, I think you told me before, you were not exactly making a fortune when you were doing that.
I thought I was making $500 a week. Then I heard I was making $595. I thought, oh,
I'm rich.
I got an extra $95. I don't know where that came from. So, yeah, not. And then I drove myself in and out too.
No driver?
No, I drove my 93 Volvo. I parked right across the street, so I'd drive in and out, and then to that show. So a lot of times there was a lot of crying going on. Yeah, I was crying in my dressing room saying, I can't do it again. And then I'd wipe my tears and go on stage. So
and then
it was arduous.
It was arduous, is right. I mean, you literally were pushing that train uphill by yourself.
Yeah,
not by yourself.
But I believed that there was going to be something after that. I didn't think that it was going to be an end to itself. So that's what kept me going.
When was the first time you knew that this role was the one that actresses wait?
When I was at Sundance. And that was before
early?
they even had the second act.
That's interesting, because the second act is what the general public knows.
Yeah. I just knew immediately from the music and the lyrics and the book that I was a part of a great work of art.
Who's going to call Al Maisels tonight?
I don't know. Has he been called? Oh, I'm sure he's watching, isn't he?
I'm sure he is. He must be very proud.
How does it feel to have made history? I'm going to start with you, if you don't mind, Tom, because I know you told me how long this journey's been for you.
For me, it's been about 4 years. For the authors, it's been about 8 years. But the thing that is amazing is when we go to visit the theater, which we do on a regular basis, to see the audience and to see who is coming to see our show. And it's the most extraordinary mixture of people. A lot of young people, older people, people my age, people in their 40s. It's pretty extraordinary.
Parents and their kids.
We are a kind of family show, but a different kind, where teenagers are bringing their parents, parents are bringing their teenagers. They know that they're coming to see something that will provoke discussion. That's exciting, and the response has just been terrific.
And I'm sure those white-haired theater ladies are bringing their grandchildren, too.
Oh, yeah. We had our first Wednesday matinee last week, and which is generally an older audience, and they loved it for different reasons, but they loved it. Can I just say that whether we made history or not, or whether we changed things or not, we don't know. We just did a show that we really loved, that we really believed in. We loved the cast. Tom worked on it 5 years. Stephen, Duncan, and Mike worked on it 8 years. And that happens sometimes when you're passionate about something and the work is really good and the heavens and the stars coalesce. We didn't know we were doing anything except putting something on that we really love. And I know that sounds corny, but that's what we did. We had no agenda. We had no thoughts about this being anything other than a really, really great show. And so it feels all the better.
Well, I do know that you're being modest in some sense too, because you know that Broadway producers also are notoriously and fairly known as people who play it safe
and don't take chances to make the almighty buck.
We obviously didn't do this for any sane commercial reasons. I mean, that should be clear
Jeff, you
to
do
everybody.
that over and over. You constantly go out on a limb and produce things that people say, how in the world are you going to make a living doing that? And it seems to always come back.
Well, Jerry and I were very grateful to be invited
privileged
to the
to come
party
into this.
with
We came in
Ira
late.
and Tom inviting us to join
Glad
them.
you came.
Absolutely.
I imagine
when you
no one
first-
else would too. So
That's what I was going to say.
No one else would.
Was it tough from the very beginning? Finding other producers, finding money? Did people say right away, we know this is going to be a big hit?
It was tough from the time that we did our first reading, a concert reading up at Lincoln Center at the American Songbook Series, and we invited about 50 commercial investors and producers, and Michael Mayer and I thought maybe 2 would respond. Foolishly, we didn't invite these 2, but of the 2 we did think would respond, 1 didn't show up and the other one was Ira. So in a sea of 50 possibilities, 1. So it was extraordinary, and extraordinary of Ira to jump in to something that was as unusual and risky as it was.
Well, there's a whole generation of people seeing this show that are going to write for the theater who may have never, ever planned to before.
That's great.
Don't you think, Rob?
That's really great. Congratulations. And can I just say one more thing, that some nights there are, and I counted the other night, there are upwards of 150, sometimes more, young people waiting outside, rain or shine, to talk to somebody from our cast, and not just to get their autograph, but they want to tell them how special the show is to them. In some cases, how it changed their life and what it's meant to them. And that is very humbling to see that. It really, really is. And the kids from our cast, they come out and they talk to. It's like an amazing. You should come by the theater and see what happens after the show.
It's quite a phenomenal thing.
I absolutely will.
Yeah.
Because to me, you're doing what my films, The Golden Age, are about. I mean, all those people, whether it's Tennessee Williams or Rodgers and Hammerstein, were writing plays about young people, the way young people spoke, the way young people sang. And somewhere the ball was dropped along the way, and you picked it up and carried it off.
When we spoke at the Tony nominee luncheon, you talked about how great the show was for you, because that was you, and the character is you taking this journey. So what's it like tonight, having reached the pinnacle of the journey?
Well, it's a bit of a shock, and I guess in a way, I'm grateful for, and I'm very proud that I got the award. But I'm also grateful it's a little bit of an acknowledgement of the character. It's an acknowledgement of that writing, and that creation of Rupert and Canders and Peter and Fred's has a place in Broadway musical theater. I mean, that's kind of cool.
That's very cool. You're opening a whole new door.
Well, yeah, and I think other people will play the part, and it's just a great part. So I think, especially in a night where other shows and other performances, for very good reasons, have grabbed the spotlight. I love that we have this full recognition that there's something of value here.
I know you started on the stage, but what do your peers out on the other coast think of what you do? Because it's you created one of the most well-known characters on the whole planet. Everybody knows you, and you can't walk down the street without being known. But instead of parlaying that into another series and more TV, more film, you came back to New York. Do you ever have friends out in LA that say, "Man, why you can't you get any work? Why do you keep doing the theater?"
No, I don't think so. I think
are they jealous?
Yeah, maybe some are jealous, but I always did theater. Like when we'd get breaks from Frasier, I'd usually go do a play or sometimes do a movie. But I mean, one of the greatest theatrical experiences I've ever had, I did a 2-person play with Uta Hagen out in LA in between, and so that was, and a lot of my friends saw that, and I'll tell you, you see Uta Hagen on stage, and you don't have any questions about why someone would do the theater. It's.
Oh, I forgot you had. I filmed Uta for my film Broadway, The Golden Age. It was the last interview she ever did. She talked about Lorette Taylor, but during the interview, you called her. In her apartment on Washington Square, and that was the thing that kept her alive. She even met the producers, had them come to her house after that stroke. she was determined to get back on that stage with you. You made such a difference in her life.
Well, I loved her so
chapter.
much, and we adored each other, and man, we had a good time working on that stage. And also, she changed my life in terms of acting. I mean, I have a picture of her and me in my dressing room here at Curtains, because that influence is pervasive, and what's great is she was so good that it doesn't matter. You're doing a musical, you're doing a play, it doesn't matter, because the roots of what she does and did, it applies.
And you think of all the actors, I always tell people that owe a debt to Uta Hagen, who grew up on respect for acting, which she, of course, as you know, didn't care for. No. Like the book after it, much better.
Right.
But you had the last really lesson that she ever gave to anyone.
I'm very grateful for that. Yeah.
She's very proud tonight, I have a feeling. What do you think this means for the future, not only of your career on stage, but of roles that are written for?
Gee, I don't know that it's going to mean anything. I think, that thing about awards is that they are kind of their own thing. It's like sometimes you get an award and wonderful things happen, and sometimes you don't get an award and wonderful things happen, and vice versa. It's just, I'm glad to have it. I really am proud of the recognition for my work and for the show, and we're very lucky in Curtains in that we weren't depending on this for our business. Curtains is a hit, and it's selling beautifully, and people are loving it. So this is, this is the icing on an already frosted cake.
It's interesting because that show has a very passionate audience that's against all the odds. A traditional old-fashioned musical is not supposed to work today.
No, but you know why it works? Because it's good. That's all you need.
Because it's good.
Yeah.
I want to thank all of our BroadwayWorld.com viewers for watching tonight, and want to thank Rick McKay for joining us here at the 61st Annual Tony Awards. Thank you, Rick.
It's my pleasure, Rob. And I want to thank you, the BroadwayWorld.com viewers, too, because it was an adventure tonight. I mean, anyone can buy a ticket, go to Radio City Music Hall, and go to the Tonys, but only you get a chance to go backstage with us, get the dish, get it like it really is, and see the backstage view of the Tonys. Thanks, Rob, for having me.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.